Story number 2 on the Roper Report. Xbox is reportedly exploring more new Game Pass tiers. This is Tom Ivan at VGC. Why not? You know what I mean? Why not? Microsoft is reportedly exploring the possibility of introducing more new Game Pass tiers. According to Windows Central sources, these include cloud-only and ad-supported tiers, and potentially the return of a family subscription option. Microsoft is reportedly working towards a cloud-only Game Pass tier that would be a relatively cheap and accessible for users that wouldn't need a console. It's claimed that subscribers to this tier would also be able to purchase digital games, which would tie in Microsoft's plan to let players stream titles they own through Xbox Cloud Gaming. Windows Central also claimed to have heard, quote, very tentative rumors, end quote, that the Xbox Game Pass Family and Friends plan could return in some form. Testing of a family membership, which allowed 5 people to access a single subscription for $24.99, a price reportedly considered to be too generous by publishers, took place across 8 countries between the summers of 2022 and 2023. And while Microsoft previously said it was exploring the possibility of offering access to Game Pass in exchange for viewing advertisements, Windows Central claimed the company isn't currently actively working toward an ad-based subscription tier.
I do like the idea of a family membership.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I do think that the more we add these tiers, though, the more it does start to get
complicate.
Very It's already a bit complicated, right? I think you start to add more, it gets more complicated. The idea of a cloud-based tier is interesting. I don't think it's needed. Like, how many people are going to let's say they do $5 a month for a cloud-based tier.
Yeah.
How many people are going to buy into that? I know they're trying to make the cloud push. I know they're trying to, what was the new platform? Amazon Fire Stick.
Amazon Fire Stick.
It just came to. Like, they're trying to make it more of a ubiquitous thing. I don't know if I'm just saying $5. I don't know if it's gonna be $5, but let's say $5 because I feel like that makes sense. I don't know doing that for just cloud is. I feel like at that point we're just splitting into too many things and making it over complex. I feel like even if you did just I don't know. The cloud thing is already part of the standard Game Pass now, right? Now that things are broken up, I don't know anymore.
So I am looking off of CNET.com's breakdown of it. They have a little chart, which I like quite a bit, right? Cloud gaming is a no on Game Pass Core, a yes on PC Game Pass, and a yes on Game Pass Ultimate.
Is it no on PC Game Pass?
No, the first one, the Core, the most basic one. This is from July 12th, 2024.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like bundling in cloud with, those standard Game Pass tiers makes way more sense than to turn it into its own thing. I just don't see many people showing up for the core or for a cloud-only Game Pass tier. That seems like a bad idea to me.
Here's the thing is I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't know how much it would be used, but I also don't know how you get people through the door if you're not offering them a door. If there's not an option to do it, we always sit here and we go, oh, it's too complicated. It's too this, it's too that. It's still mainly us, the core gamers, that are going and doing this, right? And so is this the usual mountain out of a molehill? Oh, they won't understand what grandma won't understand what a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation 4 Pro is when she goes to the store to buy something. Is was that a real example of what's happening? So this is a muddled argument because I'm not even making it really, but it is the idea of you want the people who want to just play the Xbox games on their Game Pass, on their Fire Stick, on their tablet, on their phone, to be able to get in and get this stuff. But would them who are barely know what Xbox gaming is, I would assume, ready to jump into this and then go through the hoop to find the thing? But then again, it's we live in an age where if you a good example of this was brunch. Mm-hmm. Kevin had a lovely brunch on Sunday that I came to, right? I brought little Benny, of course. Benny, of course, harassed the cat, Thomas. Loved the dogs. It was very excited to see that they also had Sucky, which is what we call the Roomba, the robot, you know what I mean? But eventually, when we were like, all right, let's sit down and eat or whatever, and he's done eating, he's like, can I play video games? And Kevin's video game unit was upstairs, and we were downstairs or whatever at the kitchen. And I was like, here, Kevin, can I get an Xbox controller? He said, sure. Gave me an Xbox controller. I hooked him up to the cloud. He was playing Forza Horizon at the kitchen table, right? Mm-hmm. If let's say I was what you would call a normal person who had normal friends, I'm at a brunch with an orthopedic surgeon, a rabbi, garbage man, just normal people who aren't living in maybe they see that and they go, what the hell? How did you do that? Oh, it's Xbox. Oh, how do I do that? Oh, well, it's really easy. You just have to get the Game Pass and do this. Oh, there'd be enough information there that I would help set them up on what they would want in this very specific instance, that maybe that's it. But again, we're like, it's so weird. I don't know how you this. I act like it's like me being stupid. Clearly, it's the billion-dollar question for Xbox as well. Is how do you sell to a normal person that this is at your fingertips whenever you want if you have Wi-Fi? Like, how do you break through and show that?
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a very stupid thing I'm gonna say, right? I feel like to make this a thing the way that you're talking about, I would think that the cloud functionality should just be free, right?
Oh.
Hey, you own it, you spend money on the game. Here, you have the ability to play via cloud. Oh, you got Xbox Game Pass, which means you're already paying $12 or however much it is. Cool, like cloud comes with it. I don't understand why.
See, now that's an interesting flip that I bet they do one day. Where it is,
I feel like that's the obvious.
Hey, cloud's free, and you can have 3 or 4 games with it, and then you see all the other tiles, and you click on those, and it's like, well, you gotta get Game Pass.
Yeah,
and then or this isn't on Game Pass. You just buy the game and you're ready to go.
Yeah, for me, it is just the $5, or I keep saying $5, like that's confirmed. But like for me, it is just a monthly fee of, oh, you can pay this just to use cloud. Where I'm like, does anybody want to do that though? Like, I know, again, I mentioned at the top of this that Xbox is trying to push cloud, right, and try and make it ubiquitous. I think for me, I'm still of the mind of, I don't think cloud can be ubiquitous in the way that you want to push it to be.
Yeah.
I think cloud is just an additional way to play. I think it is just hey, like you already play Xbox. Hey, you're already in it. Hey, here's another. You can play it on your phone. You can do the way that Greg Miller's doing it, right? Where it is, bust it, open the app on your phone, give it to your son, play Forza Horizon. You have a controller. Boom, you're doing it.
New merch alert! We brought back the Portillo hat and T-shirt in new colors, as well as a stylish crew neck. I also wrote a children's book about Portillo, and you loved it so much that we sold out in just 3 hours. Wow, thank you! But fear not, we're doing another limited run. So if you want one, head over to kindafunny.com/store, click the books page, and hit notify me when available to make sure you know when it goes live. And while you're there, grab a few shirts for your friends.
I think the future where people are playing Xbox on their Amazon Fire Stick as like the way to play, I don't think that's going to be common enough to like try and sell that as a specific tier.
I think right now that doesn't make sense, right? I think what does make sense is, again, and I think you're chasing fractions of percentage, single percentage of people, right? But the idea would be, in my head, the garbage man, the rabbi, the orthopedic surgeon.
Of course, my favorite.
They see this, they go, that's cool, show me how to do it. They do it, right? They're talking to me about how much they are playing Forza, how much they are playing Grounded, whatever. They're enjoying this experience, right? But they'd love to get it on their TV. And I'm like, oh, well, the Fire Stick, or if you have the Samsung TV. But then there's but of course, the best way to play would be to get an Xbox. Oh, well, no, you'd just be investing. You'd still have the games. Oh, okay. Like, there's that level to it. And I think, at least I think, Xbox's expectation is it also then works backwards over time. Where right now, the goal is to ramp you up into the ecosystem so you eventually buy a box, right? But I also think that in the future, it's going to be that the people who are just playing on their Series X start using cloud a little bit and enjoy it enough as internet bandwidth gets better, latency gets even better. And I know that this is a pie in the sky, maybe 10, 20 years, whatever it is all looking like. But I think they're trying to future-proof in a way while also building this bridge now. And so it's like, right now, it's very obviously an underused feature of Xbox. I think, when we did the cloud gaming review, I was heartened by how many people afterwards hit me up and like, oh, I did it for Jerica. I did this for the first time because I saw you guys doing it. It actually works really well. I was impressed. You know what I mean? And again, it's not going to replace it. I'm not throwing my boxes away.
Yeah.
But it is something there. Like, they're still making a bet on this. And if it's an educated guess of where the internet's going to go. But if the bet pays off, who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as you talked about it, right? I think the thing that I gleaned is I am more a believer of if you're an Xbox hardcore fan, you are more so in the market to use cloud, right? Of like, I think it's B leading to A, not necessarily A leading to B, right?
Yeah.
If somebody getting in through a cloud, I think if you're already in, then you're going to be somebody who might be in the market to like use cloud in the way that we're talking about. But I don't know. I'm fascinated to see if they go about this, how they frame that and how they market it, and to see like, what do those numbers look like? And will we ever see those numbers? But
yeah, the marketing's the very interesting part of it. Well, actually, for me, the marketing and the things that's interesting is it during a NBA basketball game. We always throw out the NFL game or whatever. You're doing it. Amazon is already using the console-less bundle package that they're selling with the Fire Stick and a controller and all that jazz, which is very smart, and get that out there. Swinging it back, what I think is interesting, and we glossed over pretty quickly, right, is the idea of having the cloud be there, but then also be able to purchase the digital games through it, right? Because before, when they've talked about, we want it to be that when you buy your games, you can play them through the cloud, because right now it's just Game Pass, right? Like, oh, that's interesting. But then to stop and think, of the opposite way of the rabbi, the orthopedic surgeon, or the garbage man, playing at home and clicking on a tile and buying the game and owning digital rights now on their Xbox account that they've created to do this. Again, you start to build a library, you start to build a thing. And I'm very much, I know this is 1% of any group of populace that actually does this. But then you're like, oh, wow, it's like suddenly really a Stadia competitor in a way, right? Where it's like, oh, that was Stadia's whole deal. Like, oh, that's interesting to see Xbox chasing it that way.
And I know cloud computing is very expensive, right? Which is why they'd probably want to charge for this. But for me, it'd be an even more powerful prospect to go, oh, hey, orthopedic surgeon, you have an Amazon Fire Stick, or you have a Samsung TV or whatever. Hey, you can just buy the game and play it, like via cloud. You don't even have to pay. I think the idea of another monthly subscription is a thing that gets me, where I'm like, oh man, I got to pay however much money a month and then also pay $60 or $70 to play this thing. It starts to stack up in a way where it's like, is this even a deal anymore? Or like,
totally.
It starts to get into the weeds of all these fees.
And you have to, again, imagine that's, you're getting it through subscription now to make people understand this, to test it, to build it, to make it better, yada, yada. And hopefully you get to that thing where it is like, cool, Xbox Cloud Gaming is just an app, is free. It's outside of the subscriptions. Don't worry about it. And three free games are on it, right?
Yeah.
And the hope that you get people to try it, do it, and go for it.
And like, to clarify, right, Millsy86 says it's Game Pass Plus. And my argument is against Game Pass. I think Game Pass as it exists is good. My thing is like a cloud exclusive. Hey, you got cloud as a functionality and you can buy games and use it for me, that's where it starts to get like okay, what are we really doing here? Like, let's lean up a little bit. But I'm curious to see how they go about it. And like, I think once we get there, I wonder if we get there, but then also, once we get there, will this be a thing that people are talking about? Will this be a thing that Microsoft goes, yes, we did it. This is what we wanted to get out of it.